because I haven't been able to get online, and B, I feel like hip hop has just been taking so many L's over the last 2 years that it just breaks my heart, man. Because this is a culture that I love. I never really was into like the celebrity culture of things. I never really like love people so much that I think they can do no wrong, but I really do love the music and I love where it comes from. Um, and for me, it's very hard for me to separate people's actions from their music, right? Like I don't listen to R. Kelly anymore because I think he's a monster, right? So I can't separate R. Kelly from the music. I'm not judging anybody that feels okay with listening to R. Kelly, but I can't listen to R. Kelly. You know what I'm saying? Like he just to me is a monster. And even though I love so many of his songs, like I now can't listen to him because he makes me sick. Same thing with Kanye West. Like I never really was a fan of Kanye West like that, but he has songs that I love, but I don't fuck with Nazis, and he is clearly a Nazi, and I don't like that shit. You know what I'm saying? I can't overlook that, and I can't be okay with that, and so I don't listen to Kanye West. And now, all of this coming out about Diddy, uh, it's really really hard. Diddy in the Bad Boy era is one of my favorite hip hop eras of all time. I can't even lie. Like I was into the shiny suits. Mace is one of my favorite rappers of all time, and it's gonna be hard for me to listen to Diddy's music after this because just because of the Cassie allegations alone, and I think that's a more nuanced conversation. Not necessarily that like is Diddy a monster. I don't think that's a nuanced conversation. I do think that there is a conversation to be had about the agency of aspiring artists, and like when does their agency start and stop. But we're not gonna have that conversation right now. I do, however, think that just based on the Cassie allegations alone and the fact that he settled in 24 hours for 30 to 50 million dollars is insane. It doesn't look good. That report, if you've read that report, is just disgusting. The way that he allegedly beat her and beat her to her own music and just and raped her and just a lot of bad energy, a lot of ridiculous things that no person should be allowed to get away with regardless of how much power they have. I think that this though is really interesting that a woman with no power who clearly did get shot in her face, who sounds very coherent and sounds like she knows what she's talking about, has been saying the same thing for over 20 years. But it takes another celebrity to say something for her to get justice and for her to be heard, which is absolutely insane. I also am really curious as to why Shine would take the fall for Diddy. I want to know what he got for that. And I also like I can't help but think about like one of the main reasons I think this is true is just because over the years we see how bad of a decision maker J-Lo is, from the songs she chooses to sing, the movies she chooses to make, and the men she chooses to date. She's just clearly a bad decision maker all the way around. So all of this shit sounds completely true to me. And I think it's gross. I think it's sad. I think it's a blight on hip hop. And we've just been taking so many L's that like I'm hurt. My heart is a little broken by hip hop, man. We've chosen to keep ourselves ignorant of politics and ignorant of social issues, to the point that we allow ourselves to be blinded by anybody who has money and allow anybody that has money to get away with anything. And like I hear so many other rappers trying to take up for Diddy and saying that, you know, he's a black billionaire and we need to stand behind him, and they're trying to take our billionaires from us. And I just feel like it's absolutely a ridiculous argument to say that people are trying to take our billionaires from us when he clearly did these things. And well, allegedly, I don't know that he did these things, but like obviously to me, if there's smoke, there's fire. There's too many people saying crazy things. I myself have heard so many stories about Diddy in the past, not like rape stories, but I definitely had heard in the past that Well, before I tell you what I heard, let me get to the chat. Rosalind Montgomery says, "Oh yeah, that part. Lil Kim, Shine, Lil C's, and the voice of SM says, damn, Shine took the fall. Apparently, that's what it looks like. That Shine might have taken the fall for Diddy." Monica Denise says, "I was wondering the same thing. How much Shine was paid off to protect Diddy, allegedly?" Yeah, like, and was that worth it? Because he got deported as soon as he got let out of jail. So was it even worth it to take the fall for Diddy? It didn't really do anything for your music career. You don't do music anymore. You're in politics. Diddy has no pull in Belizean politics, at least. So, like, why would you take that 10-year fall? And what did Diddy tell you to convince you to allegedly take that fall for him? There's so many questions. I really want to know what's going on behind all this, but like I was saying, I have heard for years that Diddy is a closeted homosexual. I actually, like, when I got my record deal, I can't lie, like, Bad Boy Records, like, back in the day when I was trying to pursue being a rapper and when I wanted to get a record deal, like, Bad Boy Records was the label that I wanted to be on when I was a kid. I cannot lie. Like, I wanted to be Mace so bad, and to me, like, Diddy helped create Mace, and so I wanted to be that, and so I really looked up to, you know, everything that they accomplished, because I had never seen anything like that before. And Biggie is my favorite rapper of all time, and so you know, I wanted to be associated with that. But as I got into the music industry and as I tried to, like, you know, people would ask that question, like, if you go to record labels and they say, like, what's your dream, what's your goal? And I would say, you know, I want to be a part of Bad Boy Records. And everybody thought that was weird because I'm from the West Coast, and everybody that I was connected to had connections to Dr. Dre, and everybody was trying to connect me to Dr. Dre. And I was kind of like, I don't like, Dr. Dre is not, I like Dr. Dre. I think he's really dope. I respect his legacy, all that shit. But, like, he wasn't Diddy. You know what I'm saying? I like the flashiness. I like the crazy clothes. I like the crazy videos. I just like that imagery, and I never seen it before, like I said. But as I got deeper into the industry, I started hearing things, and it was things that were weird to me. Like, I had a person that was very tight to Diddy's camp tell me, like, yo, you don't want to be over there. And I was like, why shouldn't I be over there? And this person was just basically saying that, like, Diddy makes male artists and males around him do gay shit even if they're not gay, right? Like, he loves, like, this person told me that Diddy loves making straight men give him head, like, and that it's not a gay thing, it's a power thing. And, like, he felt that, like, if he could make anybody if he could make a straight man give him head, then he can make anybody do anything. And I had heard this was like 2008, 2009. I mean, I definitely told, like, my sister that when I first heard about that. I think I told a couple people that when I first heard it, because to me, that's like the weirdest thing to say, because to me, like, if you making dudes suck your dick and you're a dude, like, you're gay. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? Like, that doesn't bother me at all. I'm not going to suck your dick ever. Like, that, I'm not a gay person, so I'm not going to do that. But, like, you're gay. Like, you could say it's for power, you could say it's for whatever, but that's some gay shit. So if you want to do that, that's cool. But, you know, you're not going to make me do that. So that kind of made me question it. And I just kind of, after that moment, when I had kind of heard things that confirmed that was true, you know, and when I started understanding, like, being signed to a label, period, just was not the move, I kind of put that dream to rest, and I didn't want to be on Bad Boy anymore. I wanted to do my own thing, and I started doing my own thing and started my own labels and started getting funding and stuff like that. But it did make me really sad when I heard that, because to me, that says that, like hip hop culture, I'm not going to speak for black culture, because I can't. I know that black people are not a monolith and there's a bunch of different black people, and I can't speak for black culture. I know hip hop culture as well is not a monolith, but I feel more comfortable speaking for hip hop culture as I've been deep inside of the industry, and I know hip hop culture, and I've studied hip hop culture my whole entire life. And one thing I can say that really disappoints me about hip hop culture is how unaccepting we are of homosexuals. You know what I'm saying? Like, to me personally, I don't care if you're straight, I don't care if you're gay, I just care if you're a good person and you do good things, you know what I'm saying, and you don't hurt anybody. Like, that's what I care about. So I have plenty of gay friends, and I'm not ashamed to say that, and I kick it with them all the time, and like, I don't mind being around gay people, and I think everybody should be allowed to be who they feel that they are. I feel like everybody should be allowed to love who they want to love, and I'm completely okay with that. But it really does bother me that, like, Diddy is clearly, in my mind, and I'm gonna say allegedly because I don't want to get sued, and I don't, but from everything I've seen and heard, Diddy is clearly a gay person, allegedly. And the fact that the culture that he came up in and the culture that he changed would not allow him to be the type of person that he is, caused him to do harm to other people to prove that he wasn't gay. And I feel like just the mental gymnastics and the cognitive dissonance within that is so crazy, because you end up doing to try to prove you're not gay. Like, for instance, like in the Cassie lawsuit, she alleged that Diddy would make her go hire. This is what the lawsuit says. This is not me making this up. The lawsuit that Cassie filed said that Diddy would make her hire big dick prostitutes, and she would have to wear white fingernails and basically like have sex with them and jack them off. And he made her wear white fingernail polish because he liked the way that her fingers looked around their dicks, right? And it's a lot. I know. I'm sorry. I hope there are no kids listening, but I'm just repeating what's in the lawsuit. I'm not making this up. I'm not trying to be crass, but I'm trying to make a point. And I mean, I feel like only a gay man would do something like that. Like, and then, he would film her having sex with the male prostitutes. And then she kind of alleged, she never said it, but she would allege that like maybe she would film him with the prostitutes. And, so my point is, like, you feel so uncomfortable being yourself and just being with a man and being gay. Like, from my perspective, Diddy seems to be gay. So like, instead of just being himself and being gay, he hires Cassie, or he uses Cassie as a beard so he can do gay things, and ends up hurting Cassie in the process. You know what I'm saying? And like, it's just, it's sad. Like, I feel like if he could have been himself from the beginning, if he felt comfortable in hip hop being gay, and if we were more accepting of gay people, then maybe he would have just had a boyfriend this whole time and nobody would have gotten hurt. You know what I'm saying? And like, I'm not saying it's hip hop's fault necessarily, but I do think we play a part in making people try to live up to these gender roles that, especially if they're in the limelight, that just make it difficult for them to live normal lives. And I think that's really sad. I'm not saying his behavior is excusable in any way. He should not be excused, especially if he's guilty of these crimes. But I do think it's really sad that, like, had he been able to just be himself, maybe none of this would happen. I kind of feel the same way about R. Kelly. Like, there's a lot of things that say R. Kelly allegedly was raped and molested as a kid by his pastor, and maybe the same thing of him. Maybe if he was allowed to be who he was as an alleged gay person, then maybe none of this would happen, and nobody would be hurt and nobody would have to be in jail. I also think that just as a society, I think we need to have more thorough and better conversations about sex. You know what I'm saying? Like and that's a whole different episode. We can have that conversation. If the chat wants to have it, let me know. I'm down to talk about it. But I do think, like, as a society, we try to pretend like we are more wholesome and more moral than we actually are. I don't think sex is immoral, so I don't try to pretend like I'm above it all. But I do think that, like, we live in a society that, like, praises people who pretend like they're above their base instincts, and that causes a lot of problems. People who are pent up and sexually repressed do very weird and harmful things to other people, and they just end up being weird people. And I think these cases fall under that umbrella, and I do think as a society, as a community, we need to have more honest conversations about sex. But that's where I'm at with the Diddy trial so far. I'll definitely be paying attention to it. We'll definitely talk about it as it unfolds and as it develops, but I would love to know what the chat thinks. Let me know in the comments. What are your thoughts? Like, do you think he's guilty? Do you think I'm reaching? Do you think just let me know what you think. Voice of SM says he was calling Nori daddy on Drink Champs. Yeah, no, he calls a lot of people daddy, and like, even on the Breakfast Club, he said they played him. I feel like they played him saying calling somebody daddy or something like that, and he was like, I don't play the pause games. I don't, like, I said what I said, and, like, I'm gonna stand on it. And, like, excuse me, I think that yeah, I just and from my perspective, I think Diddy is clearly gay, and I think that he should come, if he would have just came out of the closet a long time ago and just lived in his truth, then maybe none of this would be happening. You know what I'm saying? Or maybe he's fluid, you know what I'm saying? Maybe he's sexually fluid and likes men and women, but he definitely likes men, you know what I'm saying? I can't say definitely. He allegedly likes men, from my perspective. This is an opinion. I'm speculating. I'm not stating it as fact. Yeah, it's a sad time for hip hop, man. Like, I just think that between social media and not having good curators in the culture, and all of these people who see hip hop as a lick, and then a lot of our legends like Russell Simmons and Diddy and Kanye, and I mean, there's probably more people that I'm forgetting, just doing terrible things, saying terrible things, and being terrible representatives of the culture. It's just really, really sad, and it breaks my heart. But that's why I want to start our own market, our own industry on the coast, so we can start fresh, and we can uphold the good principles and get rid of the bad things that are going on, and kind of not have that be involved on the coast. And that's why we're here doing Connect the Coast, starting our own movement. So support that movement if you like what we got going on here, where we don't tolerate the toxicity. We not finna let nobody put hands on women. We not finna let nobody talk crazy to women or do anything crazy to women. We gonna let people be themselves and be who they are over here. If you like that, if you can get down with that, then support us. Tell your people about Connect the Coast. We're gonna get into a couple more songs, and then I gotta get dressed and go to rehearsal. Again, let me know what you think in the chat, and we'll definitely address that. If not on this episode, then on the next episode. Up next on CTC Radio, we got a classic. This is the homie Dad Poppy Marquis featuring Joe Day. It's called Bounce. CTC Radio, the only radio station committed to the coast. Let's go.
Hey, that ass got some bounce to it. Turn around, let's